Knowing how to manipulate linear equations and put them into the slope-intercept form is an important math skill to know for the GED math test. In this mini math lesson, we will find the slope and y-intercept of 3 equations and then graph each equation. Our first equation is y equals -6 plus 2x. This is a fairly straightforward equation, and you can see that it is almost in the slope-intercept format. All we need to do is flip the -6 and 2x. You can see that it is now in the correct slope-intercept form. We can quickly locate the slope, which is 2, and the y-intercept, which is -6. When you graph, start with the y-intercept. We will start by putting a dot on the y-axis at the point of -6. Next, we look at the slope. Our slope is a positive 2, which means that it rises 2 and runs 1. Let's place a few dots by using the slope. Rise 2 and run 1. Rise 2 and run 1. Finally, let's draw a line connecting the dots. We have now successfully graphed our first linear equation. Let's take a look at another equation. 2x plus 3y equals 12. The goal is to use inverse properties to put the equation into slope-intercept form. This equation will require us to use the inverse operations twice. First, we need to subtract 2x from both sides. That will cancel out the 2x on the left side. Next, let's rewrite the equation. Notice that when we rewrite it, we want to make it in the slope-intercept form, so we will move the -2x in front of the 12. Because we need to isolate the y, we will need to divide both sides by 3. 3 divided by 3 cancels out and leaves y. -2x divided by 3 is -2/3 x. And 12 divided by 3 is 4. The equation is now in the correct form. Y equals -2/3 x plus 4. Since the equation is now in slope-intercept form, we can see that the slope is -2/3 and the y-intercept is 4. Let's graph this equation. We will start by putting a point on the y-axis at +4. Our slope is -2/3, which means we go down 2 and over 3. Each time we do that, we put a point on the spot. Finally, let's connect the dots to form a line. We have graphed the second equation. We have one final equation left to graph. That equation is 4x minus 5y equals 20. There are several steps that we will need to do to make this equation into the slope-intercept form. The first thing would be to use the inverse property and subtract 4x from both sides of the equal sign. This cancels out the 4x on the left. To keep organized, let's now write our equation up to this point. We want to start writing it in slope-intercept form, so we will put the -4x in front of the 20. To isolate the y, we need to divide both sides by -5. -5 divided by -5 cancels out and leaves y. -4x divided by -5 is a positive 4/5 x. 20 divided by a -5 is -4. The slope is a positive 4/5. The y-intercept is negative 4. It is time to graph the equation. We start by putting a dot on the y-intercept, which is negative 4. Then we rise 4 and run 5. Our final step is to draw the line connecting the dots. Again, we have successfully graphed our equation.